Hi guys, and welcome to Phoenix and the Noms. Well, what you're staring at is wood. 2x3s, not 2x4s, 2x3s are actually cheaper. And there's a whole bunch of them here on my kitchen floor because they are going to be turned into the greenhouse shelves and tables. So, as we go outside, now I sound a bit funny because I'm getting over a cold. But I'm going to show you what we have planned for this year. You can follow me along. Our place is kind of set up into three different sections. So through this gate, you have the front yard. It's not really a yard, it's just like a driveway and a small section with there's like shrubs. We put in this gate to keep people from coming onto our property because they would come on and steal stuff. There's the car that's covered up right now. It's an old Firebird. That's my boyfriend. It's March. It's about the end of March right now, so we still have snow on the ground and ice. This is the middle part of the yard that we made. It made itself just by putting in that fence, and that's the side fence. And this is the original back fence to the backyard. So now we're left with this middle section. And what we're going to do with this middle section is we're going to put raised beds in this year to do some more gardening. Because this used to be a driveway connected to the front part of the driveway. So we weren't doing anything with it. But the problem is this area underneath the snow and ice is covered with rocks. So for like, imagine the house was built in 1920. So since 1920 they've been dumping rock here. For the driveway. So as you can imagine, it's almost impossible to dig up that many years of rock because we actually tried, and it's quite compacted and hard. So across the fence there, I have flowers planted. I always do perennials, so they come back every year. I'm not a big fan of annuals or like throwaway flowers, I call them. Maybe a few, but nothing major. That was just a chair with a I don't know, like a bowl on it that I filled with water for the birds, because sometimes it'll go up to 40 Celsius here, usually in the 30s for sure. And then I have a tree, and we have another one I filled with water, and we have some bird feeders. This is where we keep our cans, like our soda pop cans. And if you look into the backyard, this is the actual backyard. So we still got lots of snow and ice. And if we walk this way, there's rose bushes. I also have a lot of clematis on the fences. I have about 20 different clematis, whatever you call them. I call them clems. But they didn't all make it. And this is where I do gardening in tires, so that I can garden more stuff, more variety, but in a smaller amount, so we make sure it gets eaten and not wasted. I don't want to waste anything. Food waste is a real issue, and I'm really trying to cut down on that. So along all these fences, like there's clems, there's one, and in front of all the clems there's coneflowers that I planted for the bumblebees. And there's a lot of snow here still, and it's quite cold here today. It's about, well, I mean, it's not minus 20 anymore, thank God. There's our pine tree. And we have peonies over here and a bunch of rose bushes. We're at the far end of the yard now. And it's about minus, what is it today? -8, I think, Celsius, because we're in Quebec, Canada. And we're trying to get all the snow to melt. And that's my bathtub that I fill up with wildflowers. But here's what I wanted to show you guys. We built a greenhouse. See? It's just out of 2x4s, covered in plastic. Oh, I just sank through the snow. And it's nothing fancy. It's not huge. It's going to be perfect for what I need. Oh gosh. Okay, these are 2 blueberry bushes that I planted last year. They're looking good. They look like they survived the winter. That big long box is made out of old wood doors. That's a compost. And then you have our shed. A good shed where it's insulated and everything. You keep the good stuff in there. So, if we go into the greenhouse, I want to see what temperature it is right now. So as you can see, it's just a structure, okay? And the top is that hard plastic that's see-through. It's not plastic, but it's like those sheets of, I don't know what you call it actually. I don't know what the name is. But it's not plastic like the walls. And it is significantly warmer in here. So you have just enough room to step in. And here's where the table's going to be so I can work. And all around is going to be shelves with another shelf up there. And hopefully I can fit maybe a small shelf up on the top. So I have a thermometer in here. And you're looking at 30, it says 30 Celsius in here. Huh, I wonder if that's true. I wonder if this is working. But it says 30 and it does feel very warm in here compared to outside, that's for sure. And what I've been doing is I've been collecting all kinds of containers. So I have like all these plastic containers that normally would have went to the recycle bin. You know, egg carton containers are really good. All kinds of plastic containers and all kinds of stuff that I saved from going into the recycle box. Because I figure I could plant a plant in it instead of having to go out and buying anything to use for plants. And we're standing on a old concrete, used to be the bottom of an old shed we used to have here. But we're using it for our greenhouse. And these are really good ones actually. If you see here, because this is the bottom, right? And it comes with a top. So if you put it on, you're in effect making another tiny greenhouse in a big greenhouse. So that'll be great to use. I just gotta punch holes in all this stuff for drainage. But it's freaking gonna work. And egg cartons are the best because this is compostable material. So all you have to do is separate each one of these little things with a plant in it. And you can plant the whole thing into your ground. So this doesn't end up in the recycle center or the landfill. And you know, it's an organic material, so the greenhouse is slanted, built on a slant to you know, so it slides off the water and the snow. When you come back outside, it's going to be really awesome once I could start working in there. I can't work in there yet because, well, as you saw, I don't have any of the stuff in there yet. And you can see the top there, it's on a slant. So all the snow and stuff will slide off into the back. So once we get temperatures that are steady and not in the minuses, because at nighttime it still goes in the minuses in the greenhouse, it's not warm enough yet. And plus our area is, you know, we're not south or anything, so it's kind of cold. It's Canada. This is the compost that we're going to have to replace this year because after I believe 6 years, 7 years, the wood is actually rotted in a lot of places, so it's not holding together anymore. But inside, oh, it's really heavy. That's what it looks like. That's all our scraps. You can't see it very good, but you know, it's kind of gross. But hey, it's supposed to. It's all fruit and veg and stuff. And there's actually steam that comes out of there. It actually gets nice and warm. And when it really thaws out, we will turn it with a pitchfork, you know. And if you come along here, there's another tiny little gate that brings us to a part of the house that it's very small, it's very tiny, it's between houses, it's between the shed, it's between the back fence. It's kind of like a dead area where we store everything to get it out of the way so you don't have to see it. And everything's soggy and melting, and there's my ring of painted rocks I did I have Vinca minor flowers in there, but everything's sleeping. This is our patio that's covered still. A lot of fallen branches and stuff from our really big trees. We have two big, huge pine trees. I don't know if it's white pine or I'm not sure what it's called. That's my boyfriend. He'll know. But yeah, so that is the beginning of our garden yard tour for 2019. We're at the end of March. Can't really do much right now. But there is buds on the rose bushes, and even on, we have 2 lilac trees. The lilac trees are starting to bud as well. But this is going to be the big work area this year, to turn this into something and actually get it producing, because there's a lot of shade during the day. But there is about 4 to 5 hours of good sun on every part of the area. So I'm looking for plants to grow in shade, partial sun. And as well as this tree is going to get trimmed a little bit. We've never trimmed it, but some of the branches are too low, because when it gets very windy and we put our patio table here, it actually will hit the table. So we're going to trim off some things. Oh, look at this, look at this. Let's zoom you in. There is look at this. That's a squirrel. We have 3 of them that come every single year. And they actually have been eating the clem flower heads off of the top of my fence. Because as you know, clems really like to climb and take over, which is why I put them all on my fence. So, but if you put like little spikes, little wooden skewers, they don't like it. Oh, is he coming over? Look at him jump. Ah! Oh my goodness, where is he? Well, he's gone up in this tree now. And I believe they have a nest in this tree or the big pine tree there, because I heard babies last year. And I can't put my Christmas lights up anymore because 2 years in a row they literally chopped them into pieces. I don't mind them. I don't mind animals because they're all creatures, and you know, they all do a part in the wilderness and we need them, but I just don't want them to eat my clem flower heads anymore. I'm a little tired of that. So, but if you put bamboo skewers just sticking up out of the post fence, here it is, I can show you, because I have a clem right here. See, if you put these little bamboo skewers into the fence like this, they won't jump there. They'll stay away from it. And that'll protect your clem flower heads. So there you go. And that's some garbage bags full of soda pop cans, which is another thing I'm working on, trying to reduce my soda intake and eat better in general. This is beside the house and the mess we have to clean up. And this is our catio we built, if you remember. And the cats come out here. We've been letting them out every day, a few hours a day, maybe like an hour for lunchtime. And they still come out and love it. They don't care that it's minus whatever. And they'll still come out and, you know, ask to come back in. So that's it. That's the beginning of spring here in Quebec, Canada. And I look forward to trying to get all the progress.